Okay, boss, let's get it. First, enter a team name. Now, let's choose a primer. Some sponsors offer a larger sign-in bonus up front. Some offer more weekly income. The better we perform, the more our level will go up as the team gains more acclaim. Doing this will increase the income from our sponsors. Our chassis won't be... Obviously, the greater the performance and durability, the better. But be careful about spending all our cash. We're going to have people and facilities to invest in as well. Power unit suppliers will also provide upgrades throughout the season free of charge. We're not much of a team. Here are the drivers interested in joining our team. Look at their stats and pick someone you think can get us good results, as long as we can afford them. We renew contracts periodically, so you'll have plenty of chances to sign someone else should the need arise. Looks like we can afford this power unit supplier and teammate. Go ahead and confirm if you're happy. Looks like we can afford this power unit supplier and teammate. Go ahead and confirm if you're happy. Let's create the livery we will be running this season. We can add more sponsors to the car as we sign them throughout the year. And don't worry, we can edit our look at any time from HQ.
Hello and welcome to a very special Formula One live stream. Now, usually we run events like today to reveal a new car, but today is much more than just the car. It's about a brand new team, and one in which the owner also happens to be the lead driver. That's right, for the first time in modern F1 history, we're going to have an owner-driver on the grid. And it's been a Herculean effort, a huge amount of resource and staff recruitment, and a brand new factory, one in which we are standing right now. And the small matter of producing a car that can take on the big names on the grid. So let's take a look at it now. Okay, let's introduce the person everyone is talking about, Formula One's new owner-driver. Now, I would have thought being an owner was stressful enough, but you're driving as well. So how are you going to approach taking on both the roles at the same time? Now, obviously, you're not going to be alone out on track. You've signed a teammate too. What made them the right fit for this project? So, tell me about the work on the car. Plenty done, plenty still to come. What are you prioritizing in terms of development? Now, your competitors are vastly experienced. You, by contrast, are a total newcomer. So, can that be a good thing? What do you bring that's unique and special to the table? Now, ultimately, your success this season will be determined by the positions you can take from other drivers. So what's your focus in terms of... Now, ultimately, Formula One is a team sport, and you've had to assemble a team from scratch. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say all the very best for the season.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Ace completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Perez, Gasly, Stroll, Ocon, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Albon, Joe, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Sargent, and Isaac Hadjar. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Now, Ant, as much as I like testing, and I do love testing, and I've really enjoyed the build-up here and all the speculation, I really want to see some action. And finally today, we get some proper action on the track.
You're going to definitely see action, Crofty. Everyone's G'd up for this one. They've done the testing, like you say. The drivers will be revving inside, heart rates going, trying to burst out their chest at this moment. With that anticipation, who's got the speed? We're going to learn now, once and for all.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. front wing's damaged. Expects a lot of understeer unless we replace it. Major front wing. Keep on him, he might make a mistake. Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now. Okay, off we go, back into the race. That was a good turn in there, mate. That's earned us a decent pit stop time. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. Okay, Isaac's coming in for his stop now. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Tyre condition still looking good. using the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Box, we're coming in this lap. Isaac's in the pits. That's Isaac in the pits. Okay, pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach. Okay, there seems to have been a problem removing the right front wheel. We need to try and put that behind us, and let's finish this race as strong as possible. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Okay, I've got information on Joe for you. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car. Okay, some information on Norris. They've got some kind of mechanical problem. Yellow flag. Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Okay, clear. Getting some strange readings from a couple of the sensors, so I don't think you need to be worried, just some bad data, so keep doing what you're doing. I'll let you know if we notice any genuine problems. caution. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Nice one. Very lovely drive. On to the next one.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
Smiling faces on the pit wall then after that superb win here at Sakir. And rightly so, a brilliant effort from the whole team.
Well, you're always unsure of the competition and what your opponents have been able to do in the off-season, Crofty, but they've come here today, they've delivered the performance that you dream about, and wow, did they make that car sing today. Really impressive stuff.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way onto the podium now. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.